Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome into the Purple Penguin Craft Room. I'm Vicky. Today's going to be a really easy craft. Pretty simple. I mean, they have this stuff kind of year round, or not year round, every year, I should say, at the Dollar Tree or even at Walmart, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, any of the things. So, we're going to be doing a pumpkin trio set. I know a lot of people, when they do the pumpkins and they stack them on top of each other, this one is going to be a little different. It's going to be a little more spread out. And we're just going to kind of keep it simple. Fall, this can be fall or through Thanksgiving with pumpkins. And you could even leave it up for Halloween if you don't want to decorate for Halloween, but yet you still want like pumpkins around, that kind of thing. This would be something simple that you could do with that. I'm going to kind of go over some of the things I'm going to be using, and then we'll get started crafting. Now, some of the stuff I am going over, I may subtract things, I may add things, you never know, so you have to keep watching. Alright, so let's kind of get over 3 pumpkins. These are styrofoam pumpkins, and so I'm going to use 3 of them. These I got at the Dollar Tree. Like I said, you can get them anywhere you want. If you don't find the foam pumpkins, or you don't want to use foam pumpkins, you can make your own pumpkins. You could do like fabric pumpkins, you know, where you get some fabric, you put fill in, and then kind of tie it at the top to kind of make the stem, and then you can tie twine around it to make it kind of have the indents. You can totally do that too. This could be done with fabric. If you wanted to do paper mache pumpkins, make your own pumpkins with paper mache. And you can do the same look too. So, I mean, it's totally lots of other options. You don't have to do the foam. I'm just doing the foam for this project. So, 3 of these. I'm going to be using a board. And this board's probably about 13, 14 inches long. It happens to be, I had some pallets. So I had some pallets that were left outside, and they kind of got weathered. So all the wood got weathered, and I absolutely love this. And you can tell because I cut some of it, and so that's the color of the natural wood. But these were left outside to kind of weather, and I really like that rustic look. I'm actually going to leave this board like this, but we're going to be using a board. So you can use board, you can use cardboard, you can use, I mean, whatever you got, use what you got. We're going to be using some florals, primarily just leaves, and then we are going to be using some popsicle sticks. These are just the regular size skinny popsicle sticks, and a wood dowel. This one has been cut up from a different project, so that's why it's so small, but just any kind of wood dowel. And when this is going to be like for a sign, so you could probably even just go with using another popsicle stick if you don't have any wood dowels or anything like that. But you can get those at any of the craft stores, or even Walmart has wood dowels. We're going to be using this calendar, part of this calendar, I should say. And this is the Farmer's Market calendar for 2022. This is the 2022 one. But, you know, they have all these small little things on the back. We're going to be using this one. This is the one we're going to be using. So it's the Farm Fresh Pumpkins. We are going to be using probably some Spanish moss. I have maybe some raffia, do like a bow or something. Also going to be using some antique wax for staining purposes. I am going to paint those foam pumpkins, so I've got some orange paint to do, and some kind of other things. Like I said, this is just kind of a rough idea of what I'm using, and then I may add things, I may subtract things. You never know. But let's get started. So for this project, we're going to start by painting the pumpkins. I mean, you can totally leave these orange. They look good. I mean, they are foam, and they've got a little bit of wear and tear going on, but that's okay. Like I said, these are from the Dollar Tree, so it's not like you're getting very expensive pumpkins. So you kind of get what you get. We're going to just take some of this Waverly Chalk pumpkin color, and we're going to dress them up. And then I'm also going to I have this Top Notch paint for a darker orange, and we're going to come in and kind of do a darker color to kind of do a little more definition on these. So I'll make them look a little more, I don't want to say totally realistic, but we'll just make them look better. Let's put it that way. So let's do one pumpkin at a time. I am going to paint the stems as well. I'm not a huge fan of this green stem, so we're going to do like a brown for the stem, but we can do that last. So we'll do this part first. And this is kind of more of a muted orange, so it's not going to be like a super bright colored orange either. And this color is, this is a matte finish, so that's always a bonus too. I like the matte finishes. I don't like a lot of my projects to be super shiny. But you do want to make sure that your project is fully dry before going on to the next steps. Okay, so my pumpkins are all dry and painted, and I really like the way they turned out. That matte finish turns out really good. Makes them look 100%. That was the color they were, and that's the color they are now. And even if I leave it like this, you can see all the divots in the pumpkin already. And so I kind of like that already. I did kind of do a crafting decision, executive decision, and I went ahead and did one in white. I did one in white. You can still kind of see the orange through it a little bit, which isn't bad. I kind of like the way that looks. Let's go ahead and see how one of these looks with the darker orange. So this is a darker orange. It is an acrylic paint. It is still a matte finish. It's Top Notch paint in the color burnt orange. I've only ever been able to find this at Joann's. Joann Fabric is the only place I found this. I haven't been to Joann's in a while, so I'm assuming they still have it. So I'm going to push these off to the side. We're just going to do it on one, just to kind of see how it looks. And I'm just doing it with a messy brush, just to kind of get an idea of what it might look like. If I do kind of like every other kind of notch, I mean, it does look kind of wet right now, but that's just because it's still just not dry at this point. So I think it might not be bad. See how it dries. But I'm gonna keep going with it. Like I said, I'm not doing every notch. We're just gonna do every other. Kind of see if I like it. If not, I can just go back and paint more. No big deal. It's just paint. I do like how it kind of gives it a little bit of color. It's not so just all one bland color. I kind of like the way that kind of looks. So far, so good. So we'll just kind of set that one off to the side. And on the other orange one, my other orange, I think we'll do the antique wax on this one. So it will be like a brown effect versus the orange effect. So it's just the antique wax. And we're going to rub it on with a baby wipe. So we're just going to take our baby wipe, kind of just wrap it around your finger, like so. We don't need a lot, just a little bit. And so it starts off kind of looking a little rough, but basically you just kind of wipe some of that off. So there we go. So it kind of just gives it kind of a, and that will dry too. That's just because it's a little damp right now. So you can tell this one is the brown versus the orange. It's kind of not bad. Not bad at all. Let's just do a few more. Like I said, if I end up not liking it so much, like I said, it will dry a little bit lighter, but we can always go back with the orange if I want to do that. So far, I kind of like that. I kind of like that a little bit. Kind of grungy looking pumpkin. This does, I mean, it is supposed to say farm fresh, right? And straight off the farm, they're usually dirty looking pumpkins because they don't clean them. You just pick them right out of the patch for sure. So let's bring this other one. So again, this is kind of with the orange, and then with the brown. I like it. I like the two different comparisons. It looks good. All right, and then while I still have this brown wax going on, I think I'm going to do a little bit on the pumpkin, the white one too. Because you can't see the definition as much with the white pumpkin. So that one looks good too. I like how that looks. Alright, we're going to take, it says chalk paint in mushroom, wild mushroom, which is kind of like a light brown. We're going to do the stems. Like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of these bright green stems here. I was thinking about taking them off altogether and doing my own stems, but we'll see how it looks with this. I might change my mind. I was thinking about putting sticks in them, but the brown paint actually helps out a lot. I kind of like that. Maybe we'll just leave it. Again, it's one of those decisions. I can change my mind later if I feel like it, because, you know, this is my craft project. But it does look so much better with the brown versus green. I mean, green, brown. Yeah, they look better, right? might not even be able to see the stems anyways. I do want to add the floral too. So then there's that. Let's go ahead, let's get our pumpkins on our board. We're done painting the pumpkins. Let's bring our board back in. Okay, brought my board back. So I want to use this side. Like I said, this was a pallet wood. It was pallet wood. It was left out in the weather, so it got a little weathered, and absolutely love it. It was this color, but I cut this, so that's why it's like that. Cut on both ends. But hopefully people won't pay too much attention to your sides will age. You could actually do some antique waxing. It'll kind of darken that up if you're worried about people saying anything or looking at it funny. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna place our orange ones on the bottom here. And we're gonna place our white one up here on the top. I like how that looks. All right. So let's get our pumpkins to stay down. I am going to use craft glue for this instead of hot glue, and that's because the styrofoam does not do well with hot glue. For the most part, styrofoam will melt. If you do use a low temp, you could probably get away with it. I'm just going to go ahead and cut my losses, and we're just going to do craft glue. Make sure he's kind of more centered here on my board. This is just your regular craft glue. It's called tacky glue. I call it craft glue. It comes in white. It will dry clear. It also comes in clear if you don't trust it to dry in clear. So you could definitely have the clear version of it as well. I get it in the larger containers. That's why I put it in smaller bottles. It's just easier to manage. That's it. It will probably take about an hour to fully set up. See, all this is okay because it will dry clear, but on top of that, I will probably put Spanish moss down here to kind of hide that a little bit. As far as the white pumpkin on top here, I want to go ahead, I do trust my glue. However, I've got wire, which will work even better because these are styrofoam. The wire will just help out to hold it in place. So I'm going to go ahead, stick these here. Oh. That one dropped in there, and that's because they are hollow apparently. There we go. We'll go like this. So it goes all the way to the bottom. Did not go. I forgot these pumpkins are actually hollow inside. Not a problem. Not a problem. We just pushed it so the wire goes all the way down, so the white wire is probably hitting the board at this point. And then we will glue here. Put a little bit of glue in between them too. There we go. Settled on there. So it's got, you can tell it's got the glue in there and the wire. So it's definitely not going anywhere at this point. Then I would recommend letting all this kind of set up before we just go ahead and we're just going to decorate. Although there's one thing I want to do before I let this totally go. This is paper covered wire. This is a smaller gauge that I actually got at Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to take, this is a skewer, and we're going to make those little tendrils for our pumpkins. And I can make them as tight or as loose as I want, as long as I want to make them. I love this wire. This wire is only available in the fall section, Hobby Lobby. However, there is a version of it, like you can get a different size. Walmart has, I've seen, or I've also seen at Joann's. Michael's might also have it. I just haven't, not that I've looked very hard at Michael's. I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and kind of help push that in to the foam. There we go. So it's got little tendrils here. I'm just going to do a couple for each pumpkin. So I do like the fact that this is already paper wrapped wire, so it's already like a brown color, which is kind of fun. Pretty easy to do. Then I'm going to do two more sides here. I always try and get some of this so I have some on hand because I use it kind of year round. But like I said, I like to get it when it's on sale. So the fall stuff, when the fall stuff goes on sale, that's when I grab it. I'm going to do one more for the other side here. Very cute. Very cute, boys. Okay, so it looks like pumpkins are all set up now. You still see a little bit of white, but that's just the thicker glue. But they are definitely set up and not going anywhere. So that's a bonus. All right, so now let's start to decorate. Let's start to decorate these guys. First things first, let's make our little sign. I'll just put these way up to the side here so we could make our little sign. Like I said, we're going to be using popsicle sticks and a, this is just a dowel, and we are going to be using from, this is the 2022 calendar. We are going to be using this little thing right here. They've got all the big pages, but then they have these little ones in the back, so you can use them as well. So I'm just going to cut this out. Alright, so that's the one we're going to be using. Farm Fresh pumpkins. All right, so now we'll just cut this I'm gonna, so it's got this little like wavy part along the top. I'm gonna cut that off too, because it looks kind of weird. There we go. So now we just have that part of it. All right. So then we want to take our popsicle sticks, because it looks kind of, I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but we kind of want it to match a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and stain our popsicle sticks. We're just going to take, again, the antique wax and baby wipe. And we're just going to rub it on, wipe it off like regular stain would. Again, it is going to look a little darker when it first goes on because it's going to be a little damp. But, and you want to do both sides. I'm going to do both sides just because. But when it does, it is a little damp because of the baby wipe, but then it will dry lighter than that. I'm going to also do a little towel here too. If you don't get the ends of your dowel, it's okay, because one end is going to be behind your sign, and then the other end is actually going to be in the pumpkin itself. So you're not going to see your ends. So if you don't put any color on them, that's not going to be that big of a deal. One more. Okay, so we got our pieces here. I'm using, see, 2, 4, 6. I got 6 of them. And then our little wood sign will go right in the middle of them, which looks pretty good. However, this is too big. This is just way too big. So what I was thinking about doing is taking the wood sign, the ends, our popsicle sticks here, and cutting them to kind of look a little pointed. I'm going to do that side, and then kind of the idea here is to make it look a little bit wonky so that it doesn't look perfect on each side. So you can see how it's kind of, it's not exactly super pointed, but it's not curved either. So it's just kind of a little bit wonky. And then we want to do all of them like this. Measure them out. We're just going diagonal like so, and then we'll go back the other way like that. Just kind of make it a little bit of a point. And I want to try and get them all to match up as much as I can. Okay, now I've got all my little pieces cut. Like I said, I've got 6 little pieces here. Now, our little paper sheet fits right on them. blends right in, looks really cute. And then, well, we need to hold it together, right? We need to hold all these little pieces together here. So I've got a couple extra pieces here. We're just going to eyeball how long I want them, because I need to try and cover all of the lengths there. Not big. There we go. In fact, I'm actually going to kind of go like this with it, and kind of, because then I want my little dowel piece to go in the middle. I think I accidentally cut this one a little short, so let's use another little piece over here, just to make sure. And then we'll glue these down. Just using that tacky wood, or that tacky craft glue. Right, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to set that off to the side to dry. Here. All right, we're going to bring back in our pumpkins. Bring back in our pumpkin little set here. We're going to go ahead and decorate it up. We're going to decorate it up with leaves and foliage and all the things. So, got to decide what leaves I'm going to use. Bring in all of the leaves. So, I've got some bright leaves. That would look good. But then I also have got these awesome. These were from Walmart, actually. I kind of like them. They're kind of got the brown, but they have like gold, if you can see in the video. Yeah, you can see they have gold kind of flecks going on. So I'm kind of leaning towards the brown a little bit. So we'll start off with the browns. And then if I want to, I'll go ahead and we can add more color. Thinking like this, and then we'll do some more in front here between our little pumpkin friends. And I'm just placing them right now. I am not like fixing them in at this point. but do want to see how it's going to look. If I put anything too much here, I don't want to go too crazy with like putting them up here, because then you won't be able to see like the stem or the tendrils or anything like that. So we're going to get a little creative with this. Right. First, let's get these guys off to the side. I do like these I am going to turn it around. I do apologize for this, but I'm going to turn it around so I can see what I've got going on. And what I'm actually going to do is, because these are, I mean, simple enough, this is wire, and these are foam. So I'm going to stick it into these to hold it in place. And that will just kind of be extra security on these. If we want, you know, I didn't even think about this, but we could definitely make this a two-sided project, because this side looks just as good as this side does. So what I might do is I'll just kind of angle this set of leaves this way, and we can do another set going this way, and then we'll have all the leaves on the end kind of set. So it can be a two-sided project. See, so if you look, mechanics here, I just stuck it in the pumpkin. And I can put some glue around that too, to try and help hold them in if you think they're going to come out. But I think for the most part they're going to stay in there. But we're going to do the same thing on this side. Much in there. I love how that looks. That looks great. Okay, so let's get some leaves going here in the middle as well. I'm just going to do it, since I'm sticking with the double-sided situation here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do some on the back as well. You know, I'm calling this the front and back right now, but I can always change it to where I end up only decorating the one side. Now I get to decide, you know, which side I think looks a little bit better. So, got options. I can do this side or this side. Both look really cute. I love how that looks so far. Actually, I might want to do a little bit more. Might need 3 stems on each side. Just kind of make it look a little fuller. This side actually wasn't bad. Just this side. Alright. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. I like this side to be my front a little bit better. So, let's see, what else do we want to do to this? Want to do something to the top, right? Let's do, how about we do a raffia bow? Let's do a raffia bow. Couple of strands of raffia ribbon here. I'm going to do a finger bow. So it's basically where I decide how far apart I want my bow to be. I want it to be probably roughly about like that. Then you just wrap it around your fingers. You get as many as you want. Make sure it kind of crosses back over in front. And you squish it down in the middle. And then you just take an extra piece here. Wrap it around your center, as wide as you want your ribbon to be. So, flip it over. Just tie it here in the back. And I'm going to leave it to actually match with the tails. I'm not going to cut that off. We'll just leave it and let it go with the rest of this. I'm just going to kind of trim it up just a little bit here. Then we just kind of fluff up our little loops here. Want to be a little fluffy. And we can stick it here. That looks really cute. I like how that looks. These guys still look a little naked. It even looks a little naked up here as well. And I'm kind of thinking, I'm leaning towards, these are small green leaves. They're actually like ivy leaves. And I was kind of thinking adding some leaves up here to our pumpkin. He needs a little something. Again, I'm just sticking these in the foam. So that just kind of gives them an extra little leaf. There. I feel like there's one down here too. And I can glue these on too if I don't feel like sticking them in the foam is good enough. We can always do that. I think they'll be okay. I think I want these guys to have little leaves as well. at this point, it's just kind of decorating. It's all about decorating at this point. Like what kind of things do you want to see on your pumpkin? Like, do you want to keep it all natural? Do you want to put you do little bows on these guys on the sides too? I kind of just like them with a little bit of leaves. It's kind of cute. You could also do Spanish moss on them. Or any kind of moss, if you want like the moss look to them. Alright, so we're going to call that beautiful. And it does look good. And it does, even though the bow is on the other side, it really doesn't look bad on this side either. So you can still do a kind of a two-sided project, or like an all-around kind of project. But we do have our sign that we're going to stick in here as well. And we just have to make sure this is dry. We're just going to Mod Podge on our little friend here with some Mod Podge. And you may want to work quickly. Mod Podge does glue, or does dry somewhat quickly. So you don't have a whole lot of time. And I'm going to put a coat of Mod Podge on the top of this as well. Just to maybe take off some of the shine a little bit on the paper. It's kind of shiny. So there's our sign. See how cute it is with the little edges all kind of messed up? So cute. All right. We'll bring our pumpkin back. And again, we're just, because these are foam pumpkins, we're just going to stack this in here. And we can glue around the base too if you want. That is our fall pumpkin project. Farm fresh pumpkins. How cute is that, right? That's so cute. This will make an excellent table centerpiece, definitely like on a long table or anything like that. It's a very cute little pumpkin stack. Definitely let your friends know where you found me, purplepenguincraftroom.com or Purple Penguin Craft Room on Facebook as well. I do lives on there as well. So come on in, do all the things. Like, share, subscribe, and keep coming back for more.